Hey everyone, we are here live at Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, on our second day of our Disney Fantasy Cruise. Hey
excited to take you guys on everything that we've been able to do here on the island today. There's so much here on the island we haven't even been able to do, so we'll have to come back again another time and do more to show you guys more. But we'll hold on to all that and show you guys here shortly what all we've got going. Today's another very special day for us as well because this is our 9th wedding anniversary. So we've got something special coming later tonight, a special dinner just for us that we'll show you guys later too.
Yeah, so sit back, relax, and take in everything as we explore Disney's private island for the very first time together. Hi there, guys. It's Zach and Jen back in present day. Obviously, we're no longer in Castaway Cay, which makes us very sad because it was such a fun, enjoyable day there on Disney's private island. Our very first time going there together. Jen, you went there about 28 years ago now.
Very close to, yes. When it was brand new and the ships had just started. It was on the Magic and Wonder. My family had taken the Magic and we had visited Castaway Cay very early on in its days.
Yes, so there were a lot of new things that Jen got to explore, and myself and our girls that were there for the first time got to experience overall for the very first time in our lives. After seeing so many videos and pictures of it, it was such a cool thing to actually be able to experience it now. It's my first time going international as well too. Jen's got a little bit more international travel in her history, but it was fun to be in a different destination after a night at sea. If you have already watched our Embarkation Day vlog, then you know how that went. If you haven't, make sure you go back and watch the first part of our series here. You can find that linked in the description down below. And also, we've got our Disney Cruise Line playlist on our channel too. So make sure you go back and watch part 1 of that as we begin our voyage here on the Disney Fantasy.
Now today we're going to take you onto the island with us and just kind of walk through some of what we experienced, all the different activities that we did, some that we missed out on because we just didn't have enough time to do it all in that one day. I believe we said in our intro, there were so many things that we were going to have to come back another time. So we're already planning another time to go back specifically to Castaway Cay so we can have more time to do all these things. But we're going to take you through at least what we got to do and some of the things that we're looking forward to getting to do the next time. So we woke up ready and excited for our Castaway Cay day just in time to see us come into port. We got to watch them drop the anchor and tie us off so that we could get ready. In the meantime, while the crew are getting off and onto the island for us to get ready, we were on board having breakfast and getting swimsuits and sunscreen, all the things that you need to do. For breakfast, we chose, instead of our rotational breakfast, to go to cabanas. Now, a lot of people, unless you're one of those that just like to be the first one off the ship or ones that want to take it even slower and do your rotational dining in the morning, most people do typically go to cabanas since it is the buffet.
Yeah, and it has your general assortment of things that you might see on a breakfast buffet. Main highlight, of course, is Mickey waffles, which there's always that special treat of the churro Mickey waffles to come on the very last day of your cruise, generally your day at sea. We'll get to those in a few videos from now, and you'll see what our thoughts are on those.
They even had like an egg and an omelet make your own station. So if you didn't want just generic scrambled eggs or pre-made omelets, you could special order ones. And if you have any allergies, we did this as well. If you have any allergies, the night before at your rotational dinner, you're able to pre-order your breakfast to make sure that there's not going to be any cross-contamination and that you're safe at breakfast as well.
Yeah, and for that process, you simply go to one of the kiosk stations that they have throughout cabanas. There's a few of them spread around. You go, give your name, your room number, and then they'll give you a pager. And once it's ready, that'll buzz, and then you go back and you get your dish, and it's usually in a covered cloche. They'll remove that, and they take it, and then you can go back to your table with that. So it was a pretty easy process. So after breakfast, we actually, like Jen said, went back to our staterooms. We got swimsuits on, sunscreen, everything like that. It actually ended up being somewhat of a cloudy day for most of the time.
At least most of the morning.
Yeah, most of the morning. So actually, we may not have even put sunscreen on in that morning because it was so cloudy.
I think we took it with us in case the sun came out, but we left it. It was so cloudy. There wasn't even like a speck of blue. It was so overcast that we decided to go without. Which we regretted later. Don't do that. But that's what we went with. And we were also just so excited to get on the island. We kind of may have just rushed that a little bit.
Rushed the process a little bit. But once we were done getting ready and our family was ready to go, we actually went down to floor level 1 of the ship.
This is where you'll disembark to go onto the islands, not when you're coming onto or leaving the ship, just for the islands.
Yeah, level 1 is strictly for any time you're going to go to port anywhere, whether it be Castaway or another country. And when you do that, you have to have your key to the world card for everybody or your magic band if you have one of those, which on the Disney Cruise Lines, they're actually called Disney Band Pluses due to legal reasons and whatnot. So you have to make sure you have one of those for each member of your party.
If you're 18 or older, you also must have some form of ID. Now, they told us it did not necessarily have to be your passport. It could be your driver's license, unless you are like getting off and going through immigrations. But for Castaway, since it's Disney's private island, we didn't have to have our passport. So we just left our passports in the safe and we took our driver's licenses with us. Those are easier to replace if something happened.
Yeah.
That was our thinking. And so when you're 18 or older, you do have to show that photo ID as well as your key to the room card or your Magic Band Disney Band Plus.
Yeah, and that ID is actually to get back on the ship, not off.
To get on.
It's to make sure you're back on. That way we don't pick up any extra passengers on any of the different excursions.
What they'll do with that is they will double check your photo and your ID to the photo that's shown with your key to the world card. It does like a photo analysis. They have
it's all set up during your check-in and security on your embarkation day. We didn't show that because you're not allowed to film in the security area, but it's all set up there. You can opt out of that, but then it may probably slow down that process of getting off the ship for you.
So they'll just match up your face with the face they have basically in their system.
Yeah. Now, once we were actually off the ship, it was all about getting towards the activities for the day.
All the fun.
Yes. So Castaway is set up in a way that it actually makes walking pretty easy, and we actually recommend it because along that walk, you will run into a good amount of characters in very unique costumes and outfits. So the very first one we came upon was Jack Sparrow. We didn't stop at any of these along our way because our kids were so enthusiastic to get to the beach and everything, but we saw Jack Sparrow, Minnie, I think Daisy was out there at the time too, and we saw Mickey, I think, drive by as well in one of the trams. But if you're not one that is able to walk long distances, or maybe you have the necessary assistance due to any disabilities or whatnot, they do have trams as well that take you out to the different beach stops throughout the island.
Now, if you do have the ability to take this walk or walk a little bit and then go back to the tram, I recommend going and stopping for some pictures with some of the characters. Again, we did not. The kids were really excited to get out to the beach and explore, and that's perfectly fine. The next time we plan on stopping and taking a few more pictures, maybe getting out even a little earlier to the islands specifically so we can take that time to stop.
Yeah, as Disney adults, you know, when the word exclusive comes around, we definitely get our ears perked up for that. Now, once we actually get into the island, there's a few different places you can go and how Castaway is set up. So it's a bit on the smaller side because it is a private island. Disney owns this one, so they can do what they want with it. You have your general family beach areas, which is actually split up into two areas. There's one on one side and then one split kind of by some rock work and natural reef. Then along further, which we actually recommend the tram for this one, is Serenity Bay. That is your adults only area. You must be 18 or older to go into that spot. So if you are traveling without kids, if you have kids and maybe your grandparents are able to watch them, brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, etc., stuff like that.
Or they want to go,
Serenity Bay.
The kids can also go hang out in essentially the Oceaneers club style.
Sebastian's Cove, yeah.
It's on the island. There's one for the teenagers and one for the younger kids that you can check them in, and they stay there and they bring them food for lunch and all the things. So they can hang out there if there's no other family members to watch the kids and you want to go check out Serenity Bay. This time we did not go check out Serenity Bay and we didn't do the kids area. Again, we just wanted to kind of hang out all together as a family, exploring the island for the first time as a family. Looking at the family sections, there's lots of different activities within each of the family sections that we're going to talk about. One of the activities actually stems into the rest of the island. It's where you can do all kinds of different biking adventures, your 5K walking trails, and it takes you off of the beach and into the more island part, the land part of the island.
Yeah, the natural forestation, plant life, everything like that. Is some walking trails, like Jen said. And there's a kind of a giant station tower that you can go and climb up and get a general 360 view of the island too. We didn't get to do that this time, but that's definitely on the bucket list for Castaway Cay trip number 2. That is sure to come in the next couple of years. Jen alluded to this already in the last time we were going over the way the island is built, but most of our time was spent on the 2 family beaches. So it is to be known that the first family beach that you come to, there's another one further along there. Like I said, it's kind of split by a reef. And part of this first beach area is actually taken up by some of the snorkeling area that you can do. So if you're into the snorkeling, you are able to snorkel along and find all the different things that are hidden under the waters of Castaway Cay. I know there's like a Prince Eric statue, some Mickey and Minnie and Daisy stuff down there too. We're not big into snorkeling. We didn't necessarily do that. I did take it upon myself to look into the water, which I'll plug in here in just a little bit. You can kind of see things we really couldn't see. It was a little fuzzy, kind of sandy in the water. There's definitely some storms probably in the area somewhere that were making it a little bit kind of dusty in there.
It's part of why it was so cloudy too.
Yeah, but that is something to know about the first family beach. So we actually did end up parking there just because that's where we kind of found our first spot. And the nice thing about Castaway is there is an abundance of chairs and umbrellas for all the families. It was cloudy. We didn't really need the umbrella until later in the day, but it's nice to have those amenities there.
Yeah, then it was definitely very nice to have those there. Now I will make one amend. I do like snorkeling. I did it in Australia way back in the day. Now it's not something that I go and do all the time, and it wasn't a high priority for me this time. But it is something that's really cool. We've heard lots of really good things about it, and they do have really cool different items, Disney lore that's hidden throughout. That's kind of like a fun scavenger hunt if you're into that kind of thing, especially on the water. Now in this first family beach, you do need to make it known as soon as you get to the family beach, that portion of the chairs and umbrellas will get filled the fastest because it's the first place that you get to. If you keep going further on that family beach, there's definitely more chairs. And then if you keep going again to that second beach just around the corner, there's going to be even more chairs. Now in this first area, there's also not just the water that you can play in that's kind of protected by a cove, which we noticed was a big difference between Castaway Cay and our second day at Lookout Cay, because it's got the rock protection on the outer skirts. It makes it a little bit more calm as far as waves go.
Yeah.
But there's also a ropes course, which was really cool for the kids. Only kids are allowed on this ropes course up to 14.
Yeah.
They had to be a certain height and then up to age 14.
So I was not able to embarrass myself, as I know that absolutely would have happened. There's no way I could have made it across this ropes course, but our youngest and our oldest were both able to go. Little bit difference into the experience and their success rate and were they able to get across, but it was a lot of fun for them. And our youngest was actually able to secure herself a life vest to be able to do this too. That way, if she were to jump in the water, we had no fears about her potentially anything dangerously serious happening, and she was protected for that. That is one of the kids' activities that you can do, is that ropes course, and that is set up within Family Beach area number 1. How long that's been there, I'm not exactly sure. That may have been there from the very beginning. If you don't remember
I don't remember,
way long back ago.
I think it was there. I'm not positive about that.
Okay, well,
don't hold me to that.
The newest one that we knew was within the last 10 to 15 years, because I specifically remember when this was announced at a D23 convention way back, one of the very first ones that they actually did with this is Pelican's Plunge. This is a playground on water. You've got a couple different slides, one enclosed, one open air. You've got a water bucket splash area. It's a ton of fun. You got to swim to get over there. It is pretty shallow water on the approach, and then it deepens as you go.
So if you have a little one who wants to do it, they're absolutely able to do it. Just make sure you secure one of those life vests for them. And they have them all over the beaches. And if you run out of space or run out of them on the beach for whatever reason, you can go to any of the merchandise shops and they're going to be able to find you one.
Yeah, being a strong swimmer is definitely recommended because you are in pretty deep water going to the slides and as soon as you get off. The lifeguards are pretty good though. If you've got a small child coming behind you, letting you kind of...
stay in the general area.
Yeah, stay in the general area, kind of wade there while you wait for your child to come down and then be able to help them as need be.
We did this the first time our youngest came down just to make sure she was okay and comfortable with kind of the little drop out of the slide and
like,
coming
no,
out.
I got this now. Leave me alone.
So we were good, but the lifeguard was very understanding about us just kind of not being right in front of the slide, but nearby to, if needed, help guide her. So she knew we were right there.
Back to Pelican's Plunge. We mentioned that there are two slides on this. You got your closed and open air. We did both of them. I've got some recording that I'll show you guys now. Open air one and what that looks like going down. They're both a lot of fun.
They are.
Pretty fast as well too, and they have a significant drop into that water after them.
I will say the dark one, the one that's enclosed, is the fastest one.
Yeah.
It's the shortest, I feel like, and even if it's not the shortest, it somehow makes it go faster.
Yeah, the enclosed dark spaces always make you feel like you're going faster. It's the same thing that goes with Space Mountain, because you're only going 28 miles an hour on a thing, but I feel like I'm going 50 something, so.
It's definitely more intense of the two. So if your kiddos don't necessarily like some of the slides that are a little bit more intense, if they're on the younger side, I recommend doing that open air one first. Make sure they get comfortable with just the general gist of the feel and the drop into the water from the slide, because these aren't like, there were some families that called this the water park. This little water park is not on the land part of the island with fresh water and everything.
It's a playground on water, like I said.
It's on seawater. So it's going to be salt water that they're plunging into, not chlorine, not fresh water. So if they're not as comfortable with that, definitely try that open air so that they can get the feel for the movement and the type of water all at the same time, and make sure they're comfortable before they do the enclosed one. Both are really fun though.
Yeah, lots of fun, and that's pretty much how we spent the most of our morning up until lunchtime, was just going back and forth between the play areas, spending some time in the water with our family and
Building
just swimming
sandcastles.
around. That's right. Yeah, we definitely built some sandcastles along the edge of the shore as well too. So, but like I said, that kind of took us up till lunchtime, and there's a couple different options you can have for lunch on Castaway Cay. You've got Cookies Barbecue and
Cookies Barbecue
2. Yes. So they're both the same establishment. One on the first side of the family beach, one on the second side of the family beach. And we actually made our way over to Cookies Barbecue 2. It seemed a little less crowded than the first one because, again, like Jen said, most people stop as soon as they get to that first family beach.
That first area.
So we'll go ahead and talk about what we had for lunch too. But first, enjoy some of the views that we had around the family beach area, and include what it looked like underwater.
So we went to Cookies Barbecue 2 for lunch. when you go, it's set up into 4 different stations. All 4 stations have the exact same items, so it doesn't matter what station you go to. You just go to the front of each station. The cast members will set up a tray with your plate and your silverware and napkin and everything all set for you, and then you can just run through the line. There's a bunch of different things on this buffet line that you can choose from, and always you can go back, since it's buffet style, you can go back and get more if you want. I got, for my couple of things, I got the mac and cheese, which was my favorite thing on my plate. It was like one of the best baked mac and cheeses with like a nice crumble on top. It was gooey, it was cheesy, everything that you want in a perfect baked mac and cheese without being too baked. Then I also had a cucumber tomato salad, which was, again, phenomenal, very fresh and light, which was so helpful on the island since the sun was starting to come out about lunchtime. It was nice and cool and refreshing as we're getting ready for the second half of the day on the island. I had beans and rice, which were delicious. And then I also had, to be honest, I don't remember the name of this mixture, but it had like lima beans, corn, black beans.
It somewhat resembles a succotash
Kind
when
of.
looking back at it, but it was not called that. I know that for certain.
And it wasn't really exactly a true succotash, but it was delicious. Whatever it was delicious.
It tasted good. That's what matters.
So those were, at least for me, I don't like a whole lot of meat, so I didn't go for a lot of the meat options. There were a ton of different ones to choose from. Our oldest had a cheeseburger and then beans and rice, and she loved it. Our youngest had the mac and cheese with me as well. So tons of different things to choose from, even if you're not a meat eater, even if you're not totally vegetarian like me either. There's a variety of things to choose from. And Zach, you had a couple different things that I've already mentioned.
Yeah, so the name Cookies Barbecue should probably lead into what they have here. So Jen already mentioned that one of our kids had the cheeseburger, and it's not like your simple Disney cheeseburger that you get at the parks. Our oldest said that this was probably the best cheeseburger at Disney, anything she's ever had, and I kind of agree with that. The food definitely is more fresh, ready-made, instead of being kind of under the warmers for a while that you probably get at most of the parks. So for myself, I ended up getting some of the pulled pork barbecue that they had, the rice and beans. I had some coleslaw to go with it as well too. And then I had the crispy chicken sandwich that actually had a little bit of a spice in there too. It was not labeled at all spicy, had a good amount of spice in there though. It was really nice, brought out some flavor within it, and it was all really good. I had seen the crispy chicken sandwich in a few videos we had watched before, kind of prepping what's gonna be on the menu for that day. And it was definitely a standout for us. But the real standout for me was dessert. So you probably saw this when you glimpsed what I showed on my plate, and I'll throw it back in here again so you can see. They had a couple different things for dessert. You had a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, you had a brownie, and a pound cake. Pound cake was good. I'm not a general pound cake person, but I wanted to at least try one of everything. The cookies were nice and soft and chewy and warm. But that fudge brownie was a standout. It's one of those fudge brownies that just sticks to your mouth as you're eating it, and you gotta use your tongue to kind of get all the chocolate off the roof of your mouth. It was amazing. But if you ask our kids, what was the standout dessert? It's the unlimited ice cream at the island.
The ice cream for sure. You could have done chocolate or vanilla or a swirl of both, and it was endless. So you wanted more, you come back for more. You wanted in the morning, you go for it in the morning, and then you come back later. Yeah. That ice cream, it was delicious. It melted very quickly, so you need to make sure that you just like kind of gobble it down and enjoy it very quickly as you can. I will 1000% agree with Zach on the cookie and the brownie. I didn't get to taste the pound cake, but I had a bite of the brownie and of the cookie as well. Those were delicious. The cookie was very, very good, but again, I will second that I preferred the brownie, which unfortunately we didn't get on our next island day. We'll talk about that later. That was sorely missed, but those brownies on Castaway Cay, chef's kiss. So good.
Yeah, and besides the unlimited ice cream, there's also unlimited fountain drinks and water available too, just away from where you get your food. And seating is abundant. It's a giant picnic kind of cabana area where you can sit. There's a bunch of different tables there as well too. And one of the nice things is that with anything on the cruise at your restaurants, most of the cast members will come by, clean up after you we of course recommend, and we do ourselves, we will take it to them to try and make their job a little easier throughout the day, and just kind of show the respect back to them that they show us for everything that they do. But everything is well taken care of whenever you're eating on the island. But I'd say Cookies Barbecue, whether you go to first one or the second one, both of them standout locations to eat on Castaway Cay.
After lunch, we decided it was time to apply sunscreen and then head on out into the water again. Just enjoy the rest of the afternoon in the water. We were going to head back a little earlier tonight because we did have our early dinner time at the 545 rotational dining, as well as our anniversary dinner at 6 o'clock. So we wanted to make sure we were back in time for those, have time to clean up and get all ready. But for the rest of the afternoon, we just enjoyed being out, playing in the water, the ropes course, building sandcastles, and back in that water play area. We even actually got to see a wedding or two happen in that little area between the two family beaches, which was really cool to get to witness.
Maybe one day when we renew our vows, we'll have to look at doing that for us. And I've probably just put some ideas in Jen's head that are going to cost me a lot of money one day. But like Jen said, we pretty much spent the rest of the day just going back in the water, playing, enjoying time together as a family. One of the fun things that we saw on one of the last times that we went out to the Pelican Plunge area, I'll throw in here, we were able to follow some fish around the area. You are in the open ocean, so do not be surprised if you find some fish in this area. There are a lot of needle and small fish around the area that will scurry away from you if you get anywhere near close. The fish we saw, I am no wildlife expert to tell you what it was, but it was definitely bigger. It was probably about this size, and there was a couple of them. They were swimming away. We made sure to keep our distance because we did not want to interrupt their natural cycle of life and anything like that. But it's something you can definitely be on the look for is, do you find any wildlife and fishery as you're taking a swim in the waters?
Keep in mind for yourself or your kids, make sure they know and understand this too. You are in their natural environment, right? So yes, it's really cool to get to see them. It's really cool to watch them if they're underwater with their goggles or anything. But we want to make sure that we do leave them alone because we want them to be able to flourish. That's part of Disney's whole idea behind their conservation movement, is to make sure that these environments grow and flourish. And it's really important for that reef process to continue to be able to be healthy. So just make sure that everyone in your party knows too, to make sure that we kind of leave that natural habitat the way it is. We look at it, we can learn from it, but we don't hinder or hamper it in any way.
Yeah, don't be Darla in Finding Nemo. Go shake the bag. If anything, be Lilo. Give Pudge the fish a sandwich so he can control the weather.
But not the human kind of sandwich.
Yes.
So we finished hanging out at the beach for the day. It was close to about 3 o'clock when we decided that it was time to start wrapping up. We went up and started doing a little bit of shopping. Now, we could have, if you were over towards the adults-only beach, the Serenity Bay, or at the cabanas, which are closer to Serenity Bay, you'd want to take the tram over. Again, it's a little further distance to the shopping area. But we were close to it still, so we walked to each of the different shops because you obviously, when you're on a Disney cruise and on a private island, have to get some merch.
Yes, again, that word, exclusive, comes back into play here because there's a lot of merchandise you can only buy on the island of Castaway Cay. So Jen said there's a few different shops there. They've got 2 that are dedicated more towards the Disney side of things, as well as a couple for the Bohemian side of things where you have
handmade products.
Yeah,
from,
arts and crafts is generally one I would call. So you've got your jewelry and everything like that, and then you have like your shirts and hats and
dresses, traditional dresses, beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, so you have some of the Bahamian side there. We went and explored there a little bit. If you want to see anything that we got, you're going to have to look out in a couple weeks for our haul of our Disney Cruise Line merchandise. So if you want to make sure you know when that comes out, make sure you subscribe to the Disney Pros and set that bell for notifications so you don't miss any part of our Disney Cruise Line series that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. But we definitely spent a good amount of time in there trying to pick, do I want this one? Do I want this one? Yeah. Which one do I want? A little tease of what we got. The shirt that Jen is wearing today. So this was her pick from Castaway Cay, was getting this shirt. This is the only style they have of it. So if you're curious if there's different colorings and styles, this was the only one. But she was really drawn to that green color that's on it as well too.
Mint green, sea green, you know. So when we finished doing our shopping, we could have, since we were close, we could have either walked or taken the tram. And honestly, we would have been up for walking, but the tram had just pulled up. And so to be honest,
it's
we
like,
just...
ooh, this is a sign. Let's sit and enjoy the ride back.
We did. So we sat and we relaxed and we got to watch everything and take it all in as we headed back to the boat.
Yes, so we'll actually throw some of that in here too, what that drive looks like on your way back to the Fantasy or whatever ship you're on. But it's a nice relaxing way to end the day after so much fun and play at Castaway Cay.
Got closer to the ship, we noticed that we were greeted by a couple different just niceties. We didn't anticipate any of this, which was really, really sweet that the cast members brought all these things out. There were cooling towels that were nice, not just like, oh, that's nice and cool, like cold.
They were kept in a cooler with a bunch of ice cool.
So refreshing.
Yes.
The best. And you could just keep it on your wrist, the back of your neck.
Or do this. Like I did.
Or do that. If you're needing cooling, your wrists and the back of your neck behind your ears are like the best places to keep you cool. But just putting it straight on your face. It felt good to do this,
I'm not going to lie. I know the whole science behind it. This felt good.
No matter how you do it, those cooling towels were so helpful just getting ready, refreshing, coming off the island and getting ready to head back onto the ship. They also had a ton of different pitchers of water. One just traditional ice water, and then all the others were different fruit flavored water, fresh fruit. So there was like a cucumber water,
I think it was lemon,
orange.
I had orange, and I think lemon was the other one. Yeah.
So you could pick a cup or keep it and refill it a couple times. Again, not anything that we expected for either of those things, but very, very refreshing and helpful, hydrating as we get back onto the ship after a long day out on the island, just exploring and having fun. Now, keep in mind as you're heading into the ship too, they have hand sanitizing stations. You must use this before you get on the cruise. It's very important to make sure that any germs that you've gotten while on the island from any source, you are trying to keep everyone on board safe, including yourself, and that hand sanitizing station in between the island and getting on the ship is really important to use in that process.
That orange water that I had was really, really good. I know it's just water and fruit, but something about that after a long day in the beach in the sun just hits right. So some of the specifics when it's time to get back on the boat. We didn't mention this at the very beginning of the video, but shore time is generally 8:30. I actually think they actually called a shore time maybe 10 to 15 minutes early that day, so that can vary. But they tell you about 8:30 as the general estimate. Yes. Then you have to be back on the boat about 4:45. So you must be on the ship ready to cast off at that 4:45 time. If you're not, we will watch you from our windows as you run down the pier and we wave goodbye at you. If you've not seen any of those videos around YouTube, it's a good way to put a smile on your face if you're having a rough day.
But we didn't have anyone that happened to on our ship. Everyone showed up on time. When you do get up to that point, you do need to make sure that you've got your Disney Band Plus or your Key to the World card, and that if you're 18 or older, your ID. Because they will check. They will not only scan you to make sure that you're supposed to be in a certain room on the ship and it'll ID your room, but they'll double check that photograph with your ID to make sure that you are who you say you are and you're supposed to be on that ship. And they're not adding any extra passengers. Yeah,
and you also, it's a security checkpoint. There are metal detectors. Your bags go through detectors to make sure you didn't take anything from the island you're not supposed to.
Yes.
This includes seashells. There are not an abundance of seashells that we saw on our day there, but if you take any shells, they will probably confiscate them from you because they do not want you to disrupt the nature, kind of like we talked about before. They don't want you to disrupt the natural island life. So any shells, anything like that, they're going to ask you to leave behind.
So please make sure that you've already left those on the beach. They're beautiful to get to see and to get to use on your sandcastles and just hang out with, but don't take them with you.
This is a case where a picture will last longer.
Yes.
Because they will take your seashells from you.
Yes.
And one last note, the water and the cooling towels will not be guaranteed to be available to you the closer you get to that all aboard time of 4:45. We got back onto the boat and in our room about 4 o'clock, and we were able to see down to the pier from our porthole in our room, and they were already packing up for the day about that 4 o'clock time. So make sure you, if you really want that, are in that sometime before that last hour. Hopefully that'll guarantee you are able to get it if they are able to do it that day. I'm sure it's also weather permitting too.
Yes, as well.
All right, guys, so that is us getting back on the boat. So we'll throw in some views here of as we leave port and the cast members wave goodbye to us after
Mickey
a long...
hands and all.
Yes, Mickey hands and all as we wave goodbye to a wonderful day at Castaway Cay. But stick right there, because we're going to come back and tease you for what the next part of our day has in store.
So as we've mentioned before, this was our 9th wedding anniversary out on our Castaway Cay Day.
Yes.
So it was a wonderful way to spend our anniversary. And as we get back onto the ship that night, instead of doing our rotational dining, we decided to opt for one of the premier dining locations, Paulo, that's on the ship. Now, the rest of our family did go to the rotational dining. We'll throw in a little later what they had or what they thought of their rotational dining experience. We're hopeful that next time we'll get to do that because we are sad we had to miss that one. But we thoroughly enjoyed our dinner at Paulo.
Yes, and if you want to see a full review and our thoughts, including everything we ate at Paulo, you're going to have to wait a couple days until the second part of day 2 on our Disney Fantasy Cruise premieres here on YouTube. So this is the time I'm going to tell you to make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell to make sure you get notifications anytime one of our videos posts so you can continue to see all of our adventures that we have on the Disney Fantasy. Also, make sure you like this video as well too in the process. We greatly appreciate that, to see all the love from our fans. We hope that we continue to see some love from everyone as we continue this series. So make sure you go back, watch our embarkation day, and see how everything plays out as we go throughout our time on the Fantasy. Well, that'll do it for part 1 of day 2 on our day at Castaway Cay and later on at Paulo. Make sure you are ready for whenever the Paulo video drops. For Jen, I'm Zach. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.